One night, a girl is checking her cell phone without noticing that a stranger is behind her back. The man grins derisively and makes noise constantly. You may ask, why is he so presumptuous? It's all because the girl is born deaf-mute. Hello everyone, welcome to Cherry Clips. Today, I will be sharing a movie named Midnight. Like her mother, Amy can't hear or speak at all, but they are quite content with their life, even plan to travel around. They go shopping together and prepare for the journey. After they come back, Amy goes to the parking lot alone before walking back home with her mother. Suddenly, a white high heel is thrown in front of her from a dark alley. Amy walks inside and her arm is seized by an injured girl lying on the ground. She reads the girl's lips and figures out that the girl is begging for help. Right then, a man attacks them. Amy pushes him away and runs for her life. Amy wants to protect her mom, so she runs to another direction. However, the man corners her into the parking lot. Amy tries to open a door, but she doesn't realize the sound of turning the rusty door handle attracts him. Luckily, she escapes before he catches her. The man growls out of rage. He looks like a lion balked of its prey. Amy learns from the mistake, so she sneaks into her car without making any noise. Just when she feels relieved, the voice-controlled lamp in her car flashes quickly. It only means one thing. The man follows her into her car. He sits in the back seat, holding a knife against her back. The man is named Damian. He is on the wanted list for killing local young women. Now, he is after Amy. Amy never gives up easily. She slams the accelerator and crashes into the wall. In this way, Damian loses control of himself, so Amy gets away again. She must have exercised regularly, as you can't imagine how fast she runs. She rushes through the dark alleys and finds her mom. She presses the alarm without hesitation. The alarm is for emergencies like this. As long as it's pressed, all lights are on, the monitors nearby focus on the moving object, and the sound of a siren fills the air. Amy and her mom try to explain to the police what happened from the monitor, but it's in vain because the police don't understand sign language. Damian adjusts his strategy. He is confident that Amy couldn't see his face clearly just now, so he changes his clothes, then approaches them for help. He claims that his little sister is missing. Amy thinks it must be the injured girl. She intends to lead him to the alley. Amy's mom smells the danger, so she tries to stop Amy. Amy is so kind, she insists on helping the little girl, despite her mom's objection. When Damian is about to harm them on the way, a police car stops in front of them. The killer is so angry, he is even more determined to kill them. They are brought to the police station. Amy is making a statement while her mom and Damian are waiting on the other side. One phone falls out of Damian's handbag by accident. Amy's mom picks it up for him and notices the wallpaper on the phone is a selfie of a young girl. Damian grabs the phone back from her mom's hand, looking suspicious. Amy's mother tries to warn her to keep an eye on this man, but Amy doesn't take it seriously. She thinks her mom is just being paranoid. Damian senses the communication between them is unusual. They might have figured out his intention, so he decides to kill them before his disguise is exposed. Lucky enough, a man barges into the room before Damian takes action. This is the missing girl's elder brother, Brian. He is also the captain of this police station. Brian looks through Amy's notes. He confirms that the injured girl was his sister, so he asks Amy where exactly she met his sister. Right then, all officers are all outside to take care of a drunk man. Damian can't wait anymore, so he stabs Brian from behind. The captain is experienced and senses the danger. He dodges the knife and struggles with Damian. Damian is at a disadvantage and being knocked to the ground. Amy and her mother run outside and drag the other policemen inside. But in the others' eyes, Brian is beating Damian for no good reason. Damian is also good at disguising, so he cries that Brian is killing him, an honest citizen. Brian is electrocuted into a coma before he explains himself. Amy tries her best to tell the officers that Damian is the real killer, but nobody cares. The officers apologize to Damian sincerely and release him. It scares Amy and her mom a lot that the killer is back on the street. Captain Brian wakes up and restores the truth, but it's too late. They can't find traces of the killer anymore. It's almost midnight. Brian writes down Amy's phone number then escorts them back home. However, they don't feel safe. What happened today scares them a lot. Amy and her mother live in the same house. Because they are deaf, they install lots of voice-controlled lamps. If there's any noise, the lamps flash as an alert. They are making bed while the lamps can't stop flashing. From the peephole, Amy recognizes the next-door neighbor. She's also the boss of a handicraft workshop where Amy's mom works. She requests Amy's mom to go to the workshop to finish an urgent order. Well, Amy's mom can't say no, so they leave home together. Amy is now all by herself. She worries about Brian's sister, so she sends him a message to comfort him. She's so focused on the cell phone, she doesn't notice that the lamps are flashing like crazy. Damian's right behind her back. He waves an axe and cuts to Amy. Amy might have felt the wave of the air. She turns around in time and escapes into the bedroom. Damian's axe is stuck in the desk. When he pulls it out, Amy has already locked the door. He hacks on the bedroom door constantly. Amy takes a chance to send Brian a message for help. Soon, Damian opens the door and barges in. Amy has no choice but to jump out of the window. She lands on a pile of rubbish to avoid any injuries, but Damian won't let her go easily. He runs closely right after her. When Amy and Damian are chasing in the dark alley, Brian comes. He's after Damian. Amy runs to a dead end. She holds a chair as a weapon. She prepares to put up a desperate fight with Damian. Soon, Brian catches up with them. Damian knows he can't beat Brian, so he proposes a deal. If Brian just walks away, Damian will send him a message of his sister's location. His sister or Amy? Brian struggles for a while and he decides to save his sister first. He leaves Amy alone with Damian, waiting in Amy's house for the message. Of course, Damian doesn't keep his promise, even mocks him on the phone. Meanwhile, Damian catches Amy. He will torture her slowly to death. Amy won't stop fighting. She grabs a handful of sand and throws it towards Damian. Damian is not prepared for this. Amy seizes the opportunity, gets up, and runs away. It's quite a coincidence that Amy runs into Brian's little sister again. She is crawling out of the killer's car. Amy grabs her and hides in the darkness. The girl is so scared, she pants loudly. Damian traces the voice and approaches them. Amy hands the girl her cell phone and lets her call Brian for help. Then she moves to the other side. She shouts at Damian and exposes herself. Their chasing begins, as she knows it's the only way to protect Brian's sister. With Amy's help, Brian's sister is saved. After he learns what Amy has done, Brian feels so ashamed. To make up for his mistake, Brian looks for Amy everywhere. Amy is smart. She runs to a crowded street. Normally, the bad guys are afraid of the crowd, but not Damian. Amy holds a knife, threatening Damian to keep away from her. Damian is so sneaky. He claims that Amy is his little sister with severe brain damage. From what it looks like, those people have chosen to believe Damian. Nobody helps Amy, and Amy can't explain it to anyone, so she runs away again. Damian loses her and gives up already, when some soldiers bring Amy to him. They saw what happened earlier and treated Amy as a psycho. They brag about their good deeds and completely ignore Amy's begging. On their way out, they even persuade Amy to listen to her brother and go back home. Damian takes Amy into an alley. Just when he's about to kill Amy, Captain Brian shows up magically. He knocks Damian down without too much effort. Then he apologizes to Amy for abandoning her. While Brian's not paying attention, Damian stabs him in his thigh. Damian hears that Amy's mother is crying and worried about her, so he has a good idea. He will hurt her mother to get back at her. Amy would sacrifice her own life for her mother. She picks up a knife and runs towards Damian before he hurts her mother. She hugs Damian tightly. Surprisingly, the knife is not stabbed into Damian's stomach. It's stabbed into Amy's body. This is exactly Amy's plan. She stabs herself, then holds Damian's hand on the knife. Although she's hurt, she smiles like a winner. Now nobody believes Damian. Soon the police officers come. Amy provokes him again and again. Damian can't pretend anymore. He tries to kill her in front of all of the officers. The officers warn him to drop the weapon, but Damian is furious. He still runs towards Amy, so the officers shot him to death. In fact, this is Amy's plan. She knows, according to local law, Damian will be released on bail very soon. He will not regret, even commit more crimes for revenge. In this way, he's gone forever. Such a clever, brave, and kind lady. For those who are interested, you may go and watch the full movie. If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe with the bell. This is Cherry Clips. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.